anyways.
You're gonna run the...
Well, me too, I don't care.
Yep.
You might have to save me if I lose my voice.
Good.
It is 6 o'clock even on April 12th, 2021. Meeting will come to order. Present is Brian Carlisle, Jessica Wilbank, and Cindy Grant. Assuming nobody's here for public comment, let's move on to warrants. Hi, Chief. We'll move to accept the warrants. AP number 82.
Did you have me record on?
Yes, I did. For $841 even. PY warrant 83, $6,526.47. AP number 84, $4,302.21. AP number 85, $544 even. AP number 86, $6,617.50. A second?
Second.
We have a second. All in favor is 2-0. And minutes for March 22, 2021. Did you read them and have,
Yeah.
are you all set with it?
Yeah, I'm fine with them.
Okay.
And I'm glad she kind of kicked out some of our personal commentary between.
Move to accept the minutes of 3/22/21. All in favor is 2-0. And no agenda adjustments, I would assume, so we go to fire and rescue for the chief.
Whew.
There you are.
I wore my
I see
Brian
it.
Astor money
Nice.
shirt.
Nice.
So it should all be in the same order. The first page is, I literally just got that an hour ago. And that came from Chad Bean, who will grant us the same deal on the fire hose and basically bill us next billing cycle, or next budget cycle, if we want to get in on the cheap hose.
Is this the same thing we did last month?
It is.
Is this what we're talking about, or is this
It'll be
additional?
almost the exact same thing.
So it's additional.
Additional, okay.
Right, because
For
we're...
more hose, you've already
Yes,
purchased
yeah,
it.
this is
What we-
separate from what you guys,
Yeah.
and we already did the mass order for. He's willing to extend it and give us the price, but not bill it until next budget cycle, and still get in on the mass order,
Yeah,
so I don't have to come to you next year
yeah.
and beg for it. Because we're losing between 4 and 6 lengths of all the old hose each time.
Yeah, I don't ever remember since I've
Hose
been here that
testing.
we've ever bought new hose.
Besides the hose that we just ordered, the last hose I heard was 20 years ago.
I believe it. Yeah.
We got a bunch from Herman.
Oh, and then who knows what their
Yeah.
age was on that. So this is a way to really get our hose in really good order. And not have to pay for it out of this budget.
So is that within your ability to just purchase, or do we need to do this?
No,
Well,
it'd be over.
The overprice would be you guys need to approve it.
Okay.
If it comes down to the end of this year and I have the money, I might go ahead and pay it out if it is approved.
All right.
But it is something I was gonna come to you guys next budget cycle for, to slowly fix our aging hose problem.
Yeah, yeah.
But this is a cheaper way to do it
What's the
earlier.
discount that you receive? I don't see the discount in here. You said it's a discount?
It is.
For by
Um,
how much? Ha,
Yeah. Gee, that stuff's on the other paperwork I already submitted to you guys.
She was waiting for you to ambush you, you know.
I think we're down to, it's around 200 a section versus 230 or 240, I believe.
so about 15%.
Yeah. And it'll get put in with the mass order that's going in right now.
So we, by mass order, do you mean orders that are coming from other departments, and because they're becoming from more than one department, they're getting a discount?
Yes.
Okay.
Because it's like Bangor's getting a hose, we're getting hose, I believe Orrington's on it. VC, I think, and that's what drove the price down because we're really, with what they're getting, we're barely getting any hose. So we're taking advantage of their mass order and getting their discount versus, because our order wouldn't qualify for a discount.
400 feet was $1,680.
Yeah.
Well, I would put a motion,
So we're looking for just the same 1680.
move to authorize the expenditure of $1,680 for additional hose to be billed, in the next, budget year for the town of Newburgh.
Second.
What?
You're not supposed to.
Oh, right, true.
Yeah,
I'm
we
not
gotta
supposed
table
to.
this.
I can ask questions, but I
She
can't
can-
vote
yeah,
on
She
it.
can't vote on it.
So we do
I think I
lose
proved-
this deal.
I think I proved though that
But
I'm
When
very.
when are we gonna do
picky.
something? But we don't have time to,
Yeah, we do lose the deal this month. Because that's when the order does
In
get
April?
placed.
Okay, you guys might wanna
Uh,
call Renee or
how-
send an email out.
could we table it and do maybe just a real quick Zoom meeting that's still allowed, right, with Renee? Is she somewhere on the road so
Do
we
you want me
can?
to go
Yeah.
get my laptop?
But she's not available right now, you
She's
said.
not
right?
available right now.
Oh, okay,
Oh, because
Can you,
I'll need her for this packet.
for the entire packet,
Yeah, since you can't.
that's true.
So we can just table this and
I hate to
we'll
lose the discount
recess
if we
the
can-
meeting and I'll get in contact with her about
okay,
having a,
because with the Zoom, we could always just
Yeah.
do a FaceTime or a
yep,
something with that.
yep.
So I will withdraw the motion.
All right.
Good talking with you guys.
Well, do you wanna go over the rest? Is this,
It's all asking for money.
okay,
Well, I mean, I can tell you guys about it.
well, that'd be good, cause you might not be here when Brian gets to talk with Renee.
Right, so tires 464. The estimate, it's gonna be a little out of order, just, and I apologize for that, was from a little while ago, so I jumped it to 5,000 for possible changes in price.
Well, that's the one we already did, correct?
We did 461,
Oh,
and 464 is kind of the same boat. 461 even worse, because it's the frontline truck and it was always rolling. And then we were gonna wait until spring to do the 10-year. The quote came out to just over 4,600. That was back in February. So we jumped to the 5,000 just in case the numbers jumped up a little bit with how everything's jumping right now. The next on there was the training area groundwork and fire pond. That was $5,000 quote from Wellman's. And that will finish doing all the groundwork there, put us in a fire pond so we actually have water there that we can actually train with and not have to rely on the trucks for the water source all the time.
Is that for on budget?
Yep.
And you can't take water from the spring, the pond behind where that is?
That dries out, it has to be dug down a little bit.
Oh.
There's not enough there to support it. So they would dig down as well as do the groundwork around that area for that.
Okay.
would that be an ongoing fire pond to draw from?
Yes. The 461, 64 pump testing valves fixed. 461 especially is there's water leaking by the valves. So if we went to pump testing now, it'd probably fail. And it just needs its routine maintenance on all those valves. Because all it is, if you look behind it, is you pull a valve, and there's all kinds of different pulley systems back in there that's all pulling on each other, so it does need to be tightened up and fixed and things like that. There's nothing electronic back there, it's all basically pulling and, yeah. Set of turnout gear, just under the 4,000 for an entire head to toe set for everything. Ground monitor, which is you run a hose out to a fixed location. And
Can I back up just a second to Chief? We're talking, in addition to what we had just done the last meeting, right? For the turnout gear, we're talking
yeah, this
new
is
subject, right?
This is a whole new set.
Okay.
I have 2 guys that are, their year's about to really expire, and we have a new guy that we were looking to sign to the academy when they do it again.
Yeah.
And they'll all need new sets.
What did you budget for?
Well, I
Every year,
actually
did you
budgeted
do
that for this year. That was in the budget.
For three,
It-
for 3 things of turnout gear? 3
Well, the
full-
other gear that we're doing was coming through the grants.
Oh, okay.
We haven't put out just me out of the budget saying I'm buying this one whole set of gear.
Oh, okay. That was all out of the grant
Yeah, and
for the other 2.
we're almost in a good spot with gear. But it's a expiring item. So that'll get us basically current numbers squared away.
So about all of these items, are these in this year's budget, or are we talking next year?
Everything here is this year's budget. So a lot of the stuff we hit.
And was it all
spring.
planned for?
What's that?
Was it all planned for in the budget?
A lot of it is. It's like the hose testing. That's our annual requirement.
Yeah.
They're coming in June. Sometimes I can pay for it out of, and they bill pretty quick. So if I get a bill in June, I can pay for it out of this budget, not worry about it. Or I can, depending on where we're at, where it comes, I can pay for it in July's. And it's already accounted for budgetly. That's not really a word, but we use it.
Okay.
So
And the invoice from last year's is back there. It'll be real close to the same numbers. I just bumped these up to even numbers just in case there is a little bit of change on what they do. But we did lock in at the 32 cents per foot and all that stuff, so that is still. And then that also depends on hose failures that we've had throughout the year, so that'll change that price a little bit. And then if this new hose comes in prior to them being here, then that'll get hose tested with it as well. So there's just a little bit of play there just to be able to mess with that.
Huh.
So I have a question.
Yep.
So this comes to 27,920,
Yes.
and you only have 21 in your budget.
In total budget?
Total budget 25.
Then with the
And you still gotta pay for the,
first responder side, but we have. So maybe I'm reading my detailed stuff wrong then. But like the
responders has,
smooth bore, stuff like that, that's not necessary. That'd just be things that we'd really like to have on the truck.
because we still have a set of turnout gear to pay for through the grant, half of that.
Oh, we had taken that out already.
No, we haven't paid for it yet.
Okay.
So
So the
I think
big things I'll
probably,
be looking at is then the tires, pump testing that has to be done. That'll get us shut down real quick and radios out of the comm budget. So I wanted to close my comm budget out by getting the new radios and pagers. So we actually have, a lot of them are starting to fail. I can hold out the turnout gear, but yeah, so tires, pump testing,
Oops, hose testing too is gonna be part of that too, right?
Next, you have
and that
hose.
could be out of next year's budget. I can't remember if I paid last year's hose testing out of this year's budget or last year's. I think it
because
would've
this
been
report doesn't
last.
account for, there's a warrant in there, in the process that has the 469,
7.
467, the air truck.
Yeah.
There's, what's that,
For the
1,600?
inspection,
That's
and-
almost a $1,600
yeah, the air
bill.
truck stuff, yeah.
That's not part of this.
I thought that one came out of the 6th when I came and got
What's
it.
the date on it?
6th.
This is April 8th, and that warrant
that's still
hasn't
not
been
out?
posted yet.
Okay.
So I think maybe you and I should reprint these and then go back through them.
Yeah.
Because you got the grant, there's 2 bills on that warrant that I initialed today. I'm not sure, I know one of them was Freightliner for the air truck. So,
So it'd be best to kind of you two get together and.
yeah,
Yeah.
go over this
go over
and,
that,
and.
But it is something that we want to have ready for when we're able to talk with Renee.
Yeah,
So I
I
do
don't
need
know
to
if we'll
get,
do it in the next day or so, though.
I do have to schedule the pump testing, cause we're have to get on their schedule. That is something that has to be
That's,
done.
yeah, I was
Yep.
gonna say, that's not an if type
Right.
of thing, so.
I mean, there's certain things, I mean, the tires,
Yeah.
those tires are, you know,
Yeah,
Well, we talked about.
That
it
I don't
with
have a
the other
problem
truck,
with, but-
yeah.
I think that, and I know the hose testing has to be done, and the pump testing has to be done. So, the rest of it, I think we ought to get accurate numbers before,
yeah. Yeah, so I'll go ahead and do the pump testing, get that scheduled.
So,
That'd be about a month
the
out.
testing and all that stuff can be, we can, do that with the other thing to do
Right.
over the
we can get with Renee in the next day or so,
Yeah, and then the
recess
balance
this
and-
meeting and get the okay for those things,
Okay,
those ones
yeah.
that have to be done. But I think him and I need to sit down and go over these numbers, before,
Yeah,
you approve any more, so.
okay.
What's the cooling system on 467?
There is no cooling system in the back box. So the
I thought that got fixed last year.
compressor was never fixed. It's underneath the truck. So nobody wants to touch it because it's always gonna break. So I'm looking at getting from Autotronics, waiting on the quote to come back with that, a standalone AC unit in the back and fix the window on the side so the heat from the pressure will actually blow out. Because right now, if we leave it boxed up, the pull down on the fill thing gets to close to 140 degrees.
Well, I know there was an issue and there was a possible burn, it gets so hot, but,
So instead of fixing something that's going to keep breaking it on the bottom of it, I'm trying to get a standalone that will go up in one of the shelves that are
they
above the
can't mount
table.
one on the roof?
They could. I mean, that's one of the numbers that I'm also looking at,
Okay,
just to get the price of fixing the current system versus the standalone. That probably be the cheapest route, that would just put cold air straight down on the person working. But we're also getting the window on the side so it'll actually open up and blow that hot air from the compressor out. So the cheaper way is the standalone unit. Yeah, going back to the existing ducting and all that, let's say that's gonna be, cost a lot more just because they're gonna have to fix it all. And it's just, if they use a unit that's there, it's just gonna keep corroding and having problems.
okay, I will get in touch with Renee in the morning. and
Okay,
We'll just recess this meeting.
yep, all right. Are you all set then, Chief,
Sure.
with this? And she won't need Jim for an explanation,
No,
right? You can
no.
do that, so we don't have to. Oh, I had a question too, Chief, on your rescue and fire report. Do you know
Yes.
what the percentage of response was?
Fire is 100%. Rescue, a little bit because of me, it was 30%. It would have been higher, but I pulled Craig off a couple rescue calls to the fire side, just because 429 had 3 people on it and rescue wasn't necessary. So it would have been more like 40-45%, but
And I did speak to him in the future, he's gonna know with the asterisk,
Yeah,
so you know ahead of time.
because you know why you're asking, I suspect, that, you know,
Yeah.
at some point, we're gonna be asked, you know,
Yeah.
spending this kind of money, and what kind of response are we getting?
Yeah.
Then in switch where it's fire and rescue both on the same call. Mostly that's when I
Yeah,
pull
that's
Craig
not
off the
kind of a
rescue
fair-
side.
That's not a fair, number then, is it, if you told him to abort or whatever you call
Well, he
it,
still
use-
responds, but with some situations, it's easier to have him on the fire side with me than it is to have a bunch of.
Then we shouldn't call it a no
Okay.
response thing, should we?
Well, we
Same
have to,
as
because if
reason.
he doesn't respond as rescue, he doesn't do a report, so.
Huh. Hmm. I'm troubled by that, but moving on, so we're all set with you, Chief?
Cool.
Gary?
Library's all set.
All good, all good. The animal control, we have a report, which I'm very disappointed in, you might say.
It's not very lively.
No, it wasn't.
True.
The town manager for,
I gave you
and
the
I'm glad
quarterly,
something was crossed off.
the quarterly financials, but I have a couple of residents that have come to me and asked, have you had a chance to read this resolution?
Yeah.
Was it with my stuff? Was it?
Yep.
It was.
I gave you a copy of it, was with your, the stuff on the table.
Oh, on the table.
Yeah, right
No, I
there, that's
didn't.
it.
Oh,
Um,
tell you what, I'm all good with this, I think, if that's what I think it is.
It is a resolution upholding the Second Amendment. The town of Newburgh is a Second Amendment sanctuary.
A lot of towns are doing this, oh,
Yeah.
I say a lot, but it's a growing trend, and I know I've given it a lot of thought, and I'm 110% for this. I don't know how you feel,
I have
but
a gun in my car right now.
So, if you're good with it, then you can motion and vote on it and sign it, and I
Be
know
nice
two
to have
people on the
it.
North Road that will be very happy.
but I know who one is, but,
One is Peter Mead,
no.
and the other one is his next door neighbor, Rick somebody, and I can't remember his last name.
Has somebody gone up to
Somebody.
them or said to them that this was gonna become an issue for our town, that we were gonna be
Nope,
taking things
nope.
away, or?
They just, the neighbor came to me the other day, come in and asked if anybody had thought about it, he said Fort Fairfield just did it,
Yeah.
and, he really would like to see the town of Newburgh do it. And I
There's not
told him
much to
I'd
it, all
speak.
you're doing is sending a message, and
Yeah.
hopefully it's listened to, but one point, I wonder if we should wait until we're on the phone with Renee so that we can make it unanimous instead of just two, is that a value, or, do you-
I think it's always a value when all three of us
I
are
do
on
too.
board with
Yeah.
something, for sure.
You wanna table this and,
I think I would like to personally like to
Okay.
table
Until
it
all
so
of
that we
us-
can have
Because
all
you
of
know
us.
Renee will agree.
yeah,
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 well, I'm glad this came up, because
She's
boy,
as
I
armed
didn't
as I
think
am
of
usually.
that. Huh.
okay, that's all
And
I
it's
have.
too bad we couldn't add this with our town meeting and get a full town vote on it to give it some.
I mean, you can do this and I can look in to see
I
if it's
understand.
possible
Yeah.
to do it as a town thing.
Yeah, I would like to.
Yeah, I don't think it would be a negative thing by any means.
No,
So Newburgh would be known as a no pot, and all kinds of guns type of town.
Not a problem.
As long as it's not a dry town, I guess.
You know Corinth is?
Oh, I
Yeah.
know, I have to tell people when I sell
Yeah.
property there, and they get very upset when they have to go all the
But
way.
they get money for that.
I know, yeah, they do.
From
tell
the
us
state.
that. Yeah.
They do?
Yeah.
Yeah.
They also get money from a trust that was left in town, as long as it stays dry.
No kidding.
Yeah.
They receive funds.
Fire department or one,
Yeah.
the town officials.
Yeah, they have
Town
several
gets
trust
money.
funds, but
Oh,
one of
yeah.
them is specific that it has to
No
stay
kidding.
Yeah.
dry town.
Well, so you're lucky though, you got, you know, you got the Exeter store, and then you got, you got. you
The
can
only
go
one that
right
can't
into
sell it is the
Kenduskeag.
store in town, there's
Yeah.
only one or two
There's
stores.
two, yeah, there's two.
Gas
You know, but
station
if you
and,
go 5 miles down the road,
Whitney.
there's another store in another town, you can buy it down there.
Yeah, you know,
Nothing
just,
says you can't possess it in town. You
right, just can't
buy it.
sell it.
Correct.
Correct. I think there's only 2 towns in the state that are dry towns. I'm trying to think of what the other one is. Somewhere up north in Worcester
Yeah.
County.
and there's too much money coming into Corinth to not have a dry town. They can't afford not to.
No, I don't think
Change
they truly could. Okay, what's next? You're on holiday?
The road signs is tabled, I haven't got the signs yet, for the new ordinance, but I plan on having them ordered by the end of the year. I did take down the road signs today, the roads are no longer posted in Newburgh.
I need some dirt.
And I also called, we had an outstanding job with Wellman's from last year, the Tapley Farm culvert.
Yeah. Yeah.
And Libby told me that she'd get back to me tomorrow, but she's pretty sure it'll be on their calendar for next week.
Has anybody
And they're
driven over
gonna
there to see
Do
what it
our
looks
short
like?
road grading and fix the hole on the north road that they forgot last year.
Mm.
Good.
The newsletter is the next one.
Cemetery and
We didn't have
There's
anything.
nothing.
skip, right?
No, nope, there's
Okay.
nothing.
Newsletter is,
And the only thing different is this little blurb about the public hearing, if you're okay with that. We had gone back and forth, Renee was kinda thinking that the public hearing would come after the meeting and, you know, we can always
oh,
recess the
no, I said
meeting,
that,
recess the meeting and finish it up at another time, but the public hearing, if we wait, we could be here all night.
True. Yeah.
So, that's, and I did talk to her today and she was all good with that.
right.
So, you're all set, that's what's gonna be printed tomorrow and go out to residents.
Okay.
We don't have anything on the new fire station.
Goodbye, station, okay. Policy review is
not
tabled.
ready yet.
Sign?
Update on the sign. The company we were getting the sign from, in a matter of 3 weeks, their prices went up 18, the big sign down at the end of the road. $1,800. And we was hoping that we could make up that difference in the electrical quote, because we had $5,000.
Right.
Well, the electrical quote come in at $4,700.
They couldn't honor the quote. they
So
had
the
given
only
us.
way to go and get it cheaper is to go with the smaller sign, and I know you guys don't wanna do that, so I think we're just gonna forego
Bummer.
this time.
And they knew we were running on a grant, and they still adjusted the price to what they had quoted us
Yes.
for.
Metal and
Yeah.
wood have gone
Everything
through
is just
the roof.
absolutely bizarre.
Yeah, so,
Gee.
but we do have some more money coming in here in the next year. Approximately $150,000. That we might be able to use that to put up a sign.
Hopefully not $150,000 sign.
It's that, and I had the paperwork.
Is it for what the government's giving for the school system?
No,
No.
it's for towns and counties.
Oh,
Candy.
Yeah.
Huh. The
Candy?
school never said anything whether they would participate on the sign.
No,
not to change the subject, but has the school said anything about the roof?
I haven't met with her yet.
Hmm.
So, they're in the middle of switching,
Right.
and, she's been, I've emailed her twice, she hasn't even emailed me back.
Well, that's too
So I'm
bad.
assuming she's crazy busy with budget, trying to get
Yeah.
the kids all back and stuff, but
Well,
I'm
that's
still
too
working.
bad. Katie had
So-
worked hard on that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
she had, we were all disappointed, but we were scraping and scrimping
Anyway, that's true.
to get it, and for another $1,500, it just,
Yeah, I gotta call it.
yeah.
Yeah, bummer.
I mean, we were gonna be strapping ourselves to try to come up with, you know, the difference to begin with,
Yeah.
hoping that $5,000 was gonna, and then when he come up with an extra $1,800, I'm going, "Okay, you just can't do it."
No, that's so, I'm surprised the electrical is that expensive. That's-
And that didn't count the digging. That didn't even count the digging,
Wow.
so,
So just to run power down to the road and back?
nope,
No?
that's only from the pole to the sign.
Oh, geez, I was figuring it had to come from here.
Yeah, me too,
No.
I did as well.
No,
It was,
Still
that's all the
junction box.
conduit and the boxes.
Drew's
and-
willing to take Jerry rigs and find some electrical for you.
Well, that all depends, I mean,
Yeah, look in the cupboard at the fire
Yeah.
station, we don't need that.
No. Agreed.
So,
Wow.
All right.
Everything was so crazy.
yeah, and the
Yes.
plow contracts that you agreed to, I gave you a copy of it.
Yep.
And by the way, the year is wrong on it, the
Yep.
season.
Oh,
We've gotta change that.
at the very beginning?
No,
See,
that's
it's got
the,
the 2018 to 19 season written on the first page.
Oh,
right under Article 1.
yep,
3 years begin 2018, 2019.
so this is gonna be
21, 22, right?
21, 22.
2021 through,
2022.
no, it's 3 years.
3 years beginning with that. No, but
Beginning
that's the
with
season.
The first years.
That's the first season,
Oh,
is the 21, 22 season.
oh, okay. 2022. I
That's
changed
the only
everything.
thing I saw.
I changed everything but that. 2021, 2022. Yeah, I got those all right. So I have the copy to be signed.
Yep.
Okay.
We wanna just initial up here on the
Yep.
thing.
And then, these are poll permits for Unitel. Evidently, they're having to install some poles. So.
Oh, Brian, you signed where I needed to sign.
I did,
Yeah.
sorry.
Where do you want me to sign where Brian's name is?
Yeah, whatever.
Sorry about that.
All right,
That's
so
okay. Somebody will be
I
able
wanted a raise, that's why.
there's a front, there's that page, and then there's another sign page there. So, and then I have
Well, it just was
Yes.
first.
3 of them. This one is just the front page, and this one is just the front page.
Have we heard more on Spectrum? I haven't seen them out and
I
about,
was gonna
so.
ask that too.
I haven't heard anything about us, I just know it's supposed to be up
Is
and
that-
going by midsummer.
Yeah, that's what they said.
But I haven't
They were-
seen any trucks in
But
the.
that's a lot of why the poles are going in.
Hmm.
They're going up Route, Western Avenue all the time, all day.
Spectrum?
Yeah.
Well, that's because they have Spectrum in Dixmont and they have it in Hamden. They just have to use the throughway through Newburgh on Western
It
Ave.
all depends on using their trucks, but you see the, all the other subcontractors out.
Yeah, that's true.
Do we fill in the date granted, is that,
Yep.
oh, that's right.
What is
The 12th,
12.
4/12.
4/12, 3/1. Two copies of 3 different, oh, that's the one there. That must be both of these.
So what's, we got copiers?
That's got both copies of these. Because there's a copy, it says, enclosed find 2 copies of 3 different pole location
Oh,
permits
bummer.
on
So-
North Road within your town.
So one of these copies is for us then, right?
I think that one is gonna be for us, but we send them all back and they sign them.
Well,
He's already signed them, sorry. So, these
I
are.
sign low, so you sign wherever you want.
Hi.
It was only the front page on those ones.
These, just the one
Yeah.
page? Oops.
Need some use next.
Dry your right up.
I had some new codeine stuff I got.
Oh Lord. Go right to bed.
German hydrate and codeine.
Yeah. All right. What else? We got nothing?
Nothing?
Wow. So, Katie, special note to the board chairman that this meeting was done in 40 minutes. Please highlight that. So we're gonna recess until notified by the town manager when all 3 board members can communicate via electronics. All in favor?
Second.
2-0. We are recessed.